Alright, well, round number 5 time. We are not doing so hot with spirits today, but you know what? That happens. And I think we tried out a new card, and I'm not a big fan of it. I think I like the deputy version a little bit more. Dose Ducks says Uwu Control. I'd be happy with to play Uwu Control. That deck is actually really fun. I enjoy it. They reveal a IKORIA in here, and I'm going to have to mulligan this hand. It's a bit slow. Let's go ahead and mulligan this. But yeah, anyone who wants to send me a list on Twitter, my Twitter is at NickRollerMTG, or to hit me up on Facebook as well. That's linked to my, both of which are linked to my Twitch, or just send me a private message. I'd be happy to play a deck, whether it's a real deck or it's something you'd like me to play on Jam and Jank. I'd be happy to take a look at it. We're going to keep this hand. We're going to be getting rid of... this is interesting. You know, I think because I haven't tested this card, I want to keep it more. But I know it's the correct thing to put to the bottom. So we're going to bottom this. Because I think it's a sideboard card. I tried it on the main today, and it's not been doing so hot. Our opponent plays a Fable Passage here. Moots their end step. We're going to go to our turn and play a Breeding Pool tapped unless we draw something cool here. We draw a Nebogast Herald, which is good for later turns. We will say no to shocking on our Breeding Pool and play it tapped and pass it back to our opponents. Opponent's probably going to fetch in our end step with their Fable Passage. Let's see what they get here. Opponent thinks on their Fable Passage here for a second. Let's see what they say. Also, if anyone's currently watching now, or if you're going to be seeing me on my YouTube channel later on, or on Twitch replays, I will be actually later on tonight in about 10 hours, and be doing a Rochester draft of mystery boosters, so make sure to check in later on for that. Opponent plays a Cedar Wayfinder. Let's see what they find here. Off of Hinterland Harbor. They aim to deliver a Springvert and a Euro, and they take a Hollowed Fountain to their hand. So here's their Bant. I'm very interested to see how their deck plays out here, because I've seen the Bant control decks in Standard, and I wonder if there's any way to transfer that over into Pioneer. Alright, we're going to jam Danny Phantom here off of a Glacial Fortress. Our pickup for the turn was a Spellcaller. Now let's see here. Opponent go back to their turn. Let's see what they do. They got 7 cards in hand, so a lot of options here. Opponent plays the Hollow Fountain that we know about. And plays a Teferi. Ooh, that's really good against our hand right now. They roll on up, though. They don't want to bounce anything. Interesting. End step. Okay. Go back to our turn. Find a Selfless Spirit here. We're just going to jam a Nebogast Herald right now because we can't flash it in anymore because of Teferi. We're going to move to combat and bring around a Teferi. And then pass it back to them. Alright, opponent here. Goes to bounce our Nebogast Herald, that is fine. Baffling End. This is not looking good for us. Alright, we need to land ASAP to be able to cast his company. Let's probably smack us for 1 here. They decide not to. We draw another Selfless Spirit, so we are just going to jam out Nebogast Herald again. and pass it back to them. Yeah, this hand got a lot worse with this Teferi. One's going to opt in our end step here. Let's see what they do with it. Put one card on bottom and then draw a card. Okay, so we did not like what they saw. We'll pass it from our opponent. They crack it immediately. That is a 6 card in their graveyard. So now they can cast this Euro, which appears that's what they're going for. Unless they're going for a big Teferi hero. Elspeth conquers death. That's really good. That's really, really good. Alright, so we are back down to having nothing on board. Alright, so if we don't find a land here, I think we actually have to just pick it up. Because our hand is pretty do nothing with these spell callers. And then we will be further away from casting company afterwards. So we really, really, really need to just find land here. Opponent finally decides to get in for one with the Seder Wayfinder. We go back to our turn and we find Glacial Fortress. Okay. Alright, well it's company now. Wow, the door is open. We find Empyrean Eagle. Do I want this Rattle Chains or this Sailor? I think I want Rattle Chains. No, I want the Sailor. Alright, well I clicked too early. That's okay. We'll protect the Eagle. I guess it's kind of tomato tomato in that regard, because I'm not actually going to be drawing cards yet. I still have things to cast. So, I guess Rattle Chains is just as good, if not better, since I just picked up a Lord. Alright. So now we have a board. Let's just hope they don't Supreme Verdict here. Well, has 5 cards in hand, though, so there's a pretty good chance they do. I just saw something they can do. They can Urian flip their entire board. Elspeth conquers death, the Eagle, Baffling End, the Rattle Chains, and then bounce the token from Baffling End with Teferi and draw a card and mill over more of their deck with Seder Wayfinder. This seems disgusting. Seems very value intensive, but okay. There's Supreme Verdict. We're just going to. That's enough. Yeah, we're very dead. All right. Well, luckily with these Urian decks, Deputy gets a lot better because we are facing down stuff that's like more. What's the way to say it? It's all permanence based, and so these deputies get a lot better. Nebulous Herald is awful in this matchup. Is there anything else I want? I want these strokes. I want these mystical disputes. Let's try those. Taking out our Skybonders. Right? Yeah, Skybonder. 3 more cuts to make. Let's take out a Rattle Chains that gets a lot worse because of Teferi. And let's take out. Do I want the Sameful Stroke? I don't think I do, actually. We only saw one thing that we can actually counter with it, and that's the Elspeth Conquers Death. So let's just, because I think they might have Big Teferi, but I think I'm just more afraid of that card getting stuck in my hand. So let's run it back with this. Yes, we would love to play first. Alright, deck, give us a keepable hand. That is... I'm going to keep this. I am. I'm not sure if that's correct. We're going to see about that. We're going to play Spring Pool tapped and pass it back to them. I'm just trying to have as many cards that do something in our hand right now. And Collected Company is just so huge in the matchup that even if I miss on turn 3, and there's a good chance we don't because we might draw something here, and we have a couple turns to figure that out. I mean, hand's fine, I guess. They play a Temple Garden tapped. We untap, find another company. Alright, so we're going to play a Glacial Fortress and jam our Selfless Spirit. And pass on back to them. Well, plays a Hinterland Arbor and plays a Growth Spiral here. In combat, say main, end step, untap, and we're going to draw a Breeding Pool. Okay, so do I want to feign that I have a Spellcaller? I do. I'm just going to play this basic here, move to combat and bring it in for 2, and pass it back to them. I want them to think that I have a Spellcaller. They play a Satyr Wayfinder, we're going to say sure to that. They get a Sunpelt Grove, and they have a Euro now in the graveyard. Build over 2 Coursers. We go back to our turn here. We draw a Hollowed Fountain. We're going to jam out this Temple Garden and shock, move to combat, and bring it in for 2. And then pass on back to them. I wonder what kind of value deck I could build, like in probably Naya or Bant company. Just like not spirits, just actual, just company kind of list. That might be something worth looking into. Our opponent MNZ puts 2 on the bottom, then draws. Plays Fabled Passage, cracks it. We say okay. Their island. We hit, sure thing. If they just move to their ends up here, we're not going to company, because we're just going to try and hold off. Let's see what they do here. Baffling, and now we're going to company. Hoping to find a Rattle Chains or a Spellcaller. So there's our Rattle Chains and a Supreme Phantom. Any order. We're going to protect our Supreme Phantom here. Baffling's going to come in and take either our Selfless Spirit or our Rattle Chains. They're going to take our Selfless Spirit. I probably should have done that in response to the trigger, not the spell itself. Yeah, that was a misplay. Alright, that's okay. Untap, upkeep, draw, play a Betangle Sanctum, move to combat, and attack. Pass it back to them. They crack home into the sea. They're probably looking for a board wipe right now. Do they find it? Do they find their Supreme Verdict? Because if they do, we're just going to allow it to happen. 2 on the bottom, draw. Are they going for a Euro here? Let's go ahead and company in response. Give us a Spellcaller. We do not find it. We only find 1 card actually. A Selfless Spirit. And yeah, Euro is going to resolve then. Alright. Now we gotta race a Euro. end step. Go back to our turn here. We draw an Eagle. Play a Hollow Fountain tapped. We're going to jam out this now, just to push through extra damage, or hopefully find a Deputy. We find Supreme Phantom and Sailor. Keep these spell cards in our deck. We're going to move to combat and attack. And then pass it back to our opponent. They're going to get smacked around for 10, bringing them to 5. Pass it back. Normally I wouldn't play into it like that, however, we have the Selfless Spirit here to protect us against any of their Supreme Verdicts. Oh goodness, I'm tired. Alright, opponent on taps. Did we just force a game 3? Once again, bring it with hero, we're going to say A-OK to that. You play a land here. We go to 11. Opponent here. Ops, our main phase. Second main phase, I should say. Put one on top and draws a card. Another card we have to be wary of is Sell the Wreckage. Detention Sphere, that's pretty good. Take away our lords. That won't be enough though, because we have another lord in hand. So they need one more piece of interaction. Crypt Inspector, sure. And tap from our opponent. Did we force a game 3? Mausoleum Wanderer. Let's lead on the Wanderer here. And then jam. Cancel. Shock. To play our Mystical Dispute. Trigger. Then combat. Attack in for exactly 8. And I think we force a game 3 here. Alright, forcing the game 3. Okay, is there anything we want here? I didn't see anything I really cared about there. So I think we're just fine just to run this back. They reveal Urian again. We are going to have to mulligan that. And keep this one. Getting rid of this other Queller here. Alright, we're going to pull tap from our opponent here. Move to their end step. We're going to untap and we're going to draw a Botanical Sanctum, which we're going to play and jam out this Mausoleum Wanderer, pass it on back to them. Island from our opponent here. They're going to pass it on through to our turn. Alright. So now we untap, pick up another spell caller. We're going to play a green pool tapped, not pay the 2, be in combat, and attack them for 1. Now we're just hoping they don't play a Teferi, because that card would be great right now. Growth Spiral from our opponent here. They draw a card and put in a Plains. Please no Teferi. Oh, thank goodness. Omen of the Sea. Okay, they're digging. Ace Cry 2. One top, one bottom there. They play a Plains. And they pass it back to me. Untap and draw Glacial Fortress. Let's go ahead and play the Glacial Fortress. And we're just going to jam the Eagle now. And then going forward, we're going to hold up Spell Pullers. Mystical Dispute from our opponent here. We will not pay for Mystical Dispute. Move to combat, bring it in for 1. Pass on back to them. That dispute was very, very good for them there. Opt from our opponent here. One top. Alright, opponent plays, is this a Courser? Yeah, it's a Courser Prefix. It's a Fairy Time Rattler on top, okay? We find a company. Alright, move to combat, bring it in for 1. Pass it back to them. That company was a very, very good pickup. They have a Forest on top, and they have a Teferi in hand. So they're probably going to play that. They reveal a Supreme Verdict to us on top of their deck. They're going to jam Teferi. We're going to try and spell for that. Hopefully they don't have another Mystical Dispute, in which case we're in deep trouble. Alright, they do not. Alright. Euro from our opponent, okay. Growth Spiral is now on top. And they have a Verdict in there. We untap. Find a Mystical Dispute here. We're going to move to combat and attack them with both creatures. Pass back to them. Opponent here. Goes to the Growth Spiral, that's fine. Sunpal Grove now on top. Play Sunpal Grove, and they can actually play both lands off the top of their library because they reveal a Lumbering Falls as well. In combat, they're going to bring it in for 2. Sure thing. They're going to Verdict. We're going to Quell it. And step, we go back to our turn here. Draw Botanical Sanctum, which will play tapped. Move to combat, and bring it on in for 5. Taking them to 14 now. Pass back to them. Oh, Corsair, you're such a good mid-range card. Especially with Growth Spiral. They play the Lumbering Falls at the top of their deck. They reveal another Euro Titan of Nature's Wrath on top of their deck. And they have 5 cards in their graveyard, one of which is a Euro. They're going to attack me for 2. That's perfectly fine. Opponent here. Seed Wayfinder, that's fine. They go to cast a Euro here. Move that out of the way a little bit. Actually, let's just move it over here again. Now we're going to cast a Company. Company in response. Grab those 2. Bottom in any order. And then we're going to dispute the Euro. Alright. Go back to our turn here. We have a Selfless Spirit now, which helps out quite a bit. We're just going to jam Danny Phantom right now. Trigger Mausoleum Wander. Move to combat. This might be lethal. I think we're just 1 shy of lethal here. Alright, takes me 1. Yep, they are at 1. Pass back to our opponent here. Top of their deck is Supreme Verdict. Even if they have Verdict here, we're able to use our Sailor. Our Sailor, our Selfless Spirit. I was just thinking about how we can use our Sailor to draw a card as well. Opponent here. Don't know what way out they have anymore. Yeah, they agree. Alright, so not so hot today with Spirits, but still not the worst. Going back to our deck list, we had 2 of the Jubilant Skybinders in main and 1 side. I think I want those to be deputies again. I was trying out before having 3 Sailor and 2 deputies main. Before I had those numbers switched where I had 2 Sailors, 3 deputies. I want 2 deputies in the main over the Jubilant Skybinders. I want these Jubilant Skybinders, but not in the main. So I'm going to keep those in the sideboard. But yeah, thank you for watching my stream. This has been Nick Roller, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget that, like I said, later on today at 7 o'clock Central Time, we're going to be playing a Rochester draft of Mystery Boosters. So make sure to please tune in for that. Otherwise, if you have any cool deck submissions to me, on my Twitch, you're going to find my YouTube as well as my Facebook and Twitter. Send me a message on any of those to submit a deck list to me, and I'll be happy to check it out. And maybe you might see your deck on Jam and Jank or just normal league. Alright, well, with that in mind, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys